Hello guys, now we already know the basic configuration of STP and how to work of two types of BPDU, one for configuration BPDU and another one for the TCM BPDU. Now let's see the basic configuration of STP. Someone maybe say about the STP it's too complex for me, right? We have lots of characteristics and about the working process is also very complex. But about the configuration it's very easy. And the basic one, for example, the first is you have to enable the spanning tree. And lots of serious switches by default, the spanning tree is enabled. So it's very easy for you. You can directly use a cable to connect with the network and then to do the next configuration. And of course, some switch, the function is disabled. So in this scenario, if you use a cable directly to connect with multiple switch and there is a loop, and pay attention, you have to avoid the physical loop. Otherwise, if you have the message in the network, there will have a broadcast storm. So in this scenario, maybe suggestions, you start one device and enable STP and then to use a cable to connect with each other and something like this. And the second one about the spanning tree, we have three types, right? And you can use the command spanning tree mode STP to choose the mode to become STP. And you also can change the priority. Maybe in some scenario, you hope that the high performance devices can be a root bridge, so you can direct it to change the priority. The default value is 32768. And when you create the priority, the order is increment of 96. This because we have some limitation about the bridge ID. We totally have 8 bytes long, right? And this one is composed of 2 bytes. 2 bytes of bridge priority and 6 bytes of MAC address. And 2 bytes means we have 16 bits long, and the last 12 bits is a MAC address, and the MAC address cannot be changed. And so that means the first 4 bytes can be modified by the configuration, and the totally you have to configure to 2 to the power of 12 is 1496. Okay, so this is a limitation why you can create the priority to become 1496, but you cannot configure like the priority 1 or priority 2. This is a limitation. And another one is you can modify the port cost value and the port priority to finally determine the port rules. And the command is like this. You can directly enter the interface and then to use the command spanning tree cost and to give a special value. By default, all the cost value will be calculated by the bandwidth. And of course, you can change the port priority. The default value is 128. And of course, the port priority is increment of 16. The same limitation of the priority like the root bridge. And after you finish the configuration, you can use the command show spanning tree summary to check some result. And here I will show you one example. If here we have 3 switches and both of them directly connect with each other, and in this scenario, for example, we add the command of switch 1. First, enable the spanning tree and choose the mode to become STP. If we hope the switch 1 to become the root bridge, we can directly change the priority to become 0. And about the switch 2, we change the priority to become 4096 because switch 1 and switch 2 belong to the core switch. And about the switch 3, you only need to enable the spanning tree and choose the mode is enough. And finally, after you finish the configuration, they will directly send out the BPDO and calculate and select the rule and blocking some interface. This process, the switch will do automatically. So the configuration is very easy for you, right? And then you can use the command to check the result. Show spanning tree summary, and here are some parameters. The first one, it will show you now you already enable the spanning tree and the protocol is STP. And the root ID priority is 0. And the root address is, MAC address is 3344. And you can check this MAC address, and in your network you can find your root. And this bridge is a root. Also, you use a command, you can directly find it. Otherwise, if this switch is not the root, you can find your root bridge according to the MAC address. And by the default, the hello time is 4 seconds, the forwarding delay is 18 seconds, the max age is 20 seconds. That's because we already use the command to change this timer. By default, the hello time is 2 seconds, the forward delay is 15, and the max age is 20 seconds. Of course, in your network, if you make the time bigger, maybe you will take less resources to send out the message like the BPDO. Otherwise, by default, every 2 seconds you will send out one BPDO, and every switch will force the BPDO. But if you make the time bigger, if your network topology change, you will take a long time to do the reconvergence. So, based on your real network and to change the timer, it should be more suitable. So this is the basic information of the root bridge. Because this switch also is a root bridge, so you will find the bridge ID, this part information is same with the root ID, right? And the next part, you will find which interface running the STP and what's finally the rule, right? We say in the normal scenario, the root bridge or the interface will be the DP. And the state now is forwarding. What's the cost value? What's the interface priority? And the operate age is false and the type is P2P. So this is the basic information of the STP. About the configuration, it's very easy for us.